This is about the biographer Richard Holmes. We watched a show on PBS about the 6 wives of Henry VIII. It was conducted over the top and over 3 episodes by a nutty lady with a mousy hairdo who shifted from modern dress to period costume as a servant girl on the scene. It was silly, theatrical, absorbing, and effective. I now know the 6 women, their names: Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anne of Cleves, Catherine Howard, and Catherine Parr. And what is more, I know a bit about each of them. The production gave me a feel for them, and I think that's quite an accomplishment, no matter how you go about it. By random chance, around the same time, I happened to pick up a book at the branch library written by a biographer about the writing of biography. It was titled This Long Pursuit by Richard Holmes. I was unfamiliar with the man and his work. About the book he wrote, in the end, this book has become a sort of eulogy, a celebration of form, an art and a vocation that I have intensely loved over more than 40 years, and which I still do not entirely understand. In the first section, Confessions, he writes about traveling, experimenting, teaching, forgetting, and ballooning, all in respect to biography, each essential to his practice of it. The next section, Restorations, is even more powerful, fully up to speed and impressive in its action. Significantly, he writes about, restores, 5 women: Margaret Cavendish, Zélide, Madame de Staël, Mary Wollstonecraft, and Mary Somerville. The range here is from provocative to astounding. The 5 women were amazing. Given the circumstances, they did most of their work in the shadows, excluded from the official sanction of the old boy network, like the Royal Society. And that remains a huge part of their stories, as if everything they did they had to do with constraints and handicaps, yet they persevered. And the story of William Godwin's biography of his wife, whose name did not appear in the title, is riveting, painful, and revealing. In Afterlives, the author writes about others, writing about John Keats, Percy Shelley, a painter, Thomas Lawrence, I had not heard of, Samuel Coleridge, and William Blake. I would call the Blake piece, which focuses on the first great biography written about the, shall I call him, enigmatic poet-artist, which rescued him from what others have called the ash heap of history. The story behind that book is tragic and inspirational. When I came upon it and then put the book down, I staggered away, muttering, wow. And it is a wow. This Richard Holmes, unlike the exuberant, nutty lady, has a very quiet, measured, stately way of discovering that wow. He tunnels around in that historical ash heap, finding messages and clues that whisper and shout out their wow. He finds more, shapes it as it was then, and when you see the simple reality of it, ashes and clutter removed, wow, he's got you. It's quite a feat. His work is fascinating. To use another metaphor, he moves through history like a deep-sea diver exploring a wreck. He finds pieces of treasure thought lost, and with them carefully and convincingly reconstructs the players and the actions of the past. A biographer is an archaeologist, working in time and places. Time gone, places altered. He goes back and sees them as they were. What he finds is remarkable, that wow. Good or bad does not matter as much as that remarkable quality, that which can't be forgotten. And I would like to add that I think the nutty lady has got it right. The biographer is also a servant of what really happened and who the people were. And there is mystery in it, too. The way two different people can see one thing and have two completely different takes on it. And the mystery goes even deeper than that. Character, personality, consciousness, these may be unknowable, certainly multifaceted and approximate to oneself and to a biographer. Perhaps there is something oddly reassuring about this, he says. Another wow. His niche was biography, and the early part of the 19th century in England, what became known as the Romantic period, focusing especially on literature and science, finding them to be not so far apart, finding them intertwined. That was his niche, and out of that niche he fashioned a series of monuments. A biographer is one who cautions, lest we forget.